With the World Cup coming up very soon, there has been some controversies around dual nationals trying to switch nationalities. And the latest of it, at the center, is the man you see here, Yacine Adli. So let me give you the Jews. Adli is a French slash Algerian footballer of Algerian heritage, but he was born and grew up in France. So came through Paris Saint Germain, played for the French youth team. So all his upbringing was France. He later went on to play for AC Milan, and now he plays for Al Shabab in Saudi Arabia. And it all starts from 2022 when Jamal Belmadi, then coach of Algeria, was trying to rebuild a strong Algerian team after they had a bit of shake after winning the 2019 AFCON. If you remember, Algeria won the 2019 AFCON. After that, the team had a small stumble and he was trying to rebuild. So he approached a couple of players, including Yacine Adli. And his response was that he wanted to focus on club side for now because he wasn't sure whether he wanted to play for Algeria or for France. Because back then, he was, I think, 21 or 20 years. So he was quite young back then. And he wanted a bit more time to sort of decide who he wants to play for. Then in 2024, almost everything changed. So he dropped an interview and he said, as a player, I want to play at the top level. So, of course, playing for France is my primary objective. Later that same month, a few weeks later, he clarified. He clarified the earlier statements he made and he said, I'm a supporter of Algeria, but as a player, I choose France. I choose France for the high level. And then a year later, he made a move to that is Al Shabab in Saudi Arabia. He was then playing for AC Milan. So he moved from AC Milan to Saudi Arabia. And after making that move, he was asked again whether he would want to play for Algeria or France. And his response was, I had already made it clear that my goal is to play for the France national team. Once I made that decision, there was no turning back. It's final. Whether I play in Saudi Arabia or in Europe, nothing changes for me. And that's out of sheer respect for Algeria. So throughout, he had made it very clear that he wants to play for France. And let's get it clear. He was born in France. He grew up in France. So it's only normal that he will want to play for France because some of the players he grew up playing with in the French youth teams are now playing in the France national team. These are players you are familiar with, you are comfortable with. The French environment is also an environment he's comfortable with. So ordinarily, he would want to play for France. And he made it clear throughout. Then suddenly, just this week, with I think about a month and few days to the FIFA World Cup, he drums a bombshell and he says that wearing the Algeria jersey is the greatest honor for me. I gave everything, and my final decision now rests with the federation and the national team coach. I'm ready as soon as the coaching staff deems I can make the expected contribution. And that was a bit confusing because this is a player who, throughout his career, he had made it clear, very clear, that I want to play for the French national team. So why suddenly change your mind with a month and a few weeks to the World Cup? And this is now my personal take on it. I do not have any problem when he says he wants to play for France, as I said earlier on, because that is where he grew up. That is what he's used to. And naturally, that is what almost everybody, about 99% of people will choose, that I want to continue in the environment I grew up in. And that's fine. But you do not reject Algeria for 4 years, 4 straight years. You say, I mean, I love Algeria, but I don't want to play for Algeria. Then suddenly, when the World Cup is coming up, you are making a U-turn. You are changing your mind. I mean, that goes against almost every single principle in the game. But for coaches, and Algeria's coach is Vladimir Petkovic, I mean, he was contracted for one job to ensure he brings success to Algeria, and whoever can bring him the success is who he goes in for. So maybe in 2022, he was dealing with a different coach in Algeria who he told that I'm not ready yet. But then now there's a new coach who wants to win for Algeria. So whichever materials he thinks can win for him, he can go and fetch that player to play. But then moves like this also really affects the team chemistry, because don't forget that in a football team, even if the fans, let's say Algerians, hear this, and on social media there has been a lot of uproar by Algerians who have been angry, saying we don't want him to play. If the fans are saying this, what do you think the Algerian players themselves will be saying to themselves? Like, will be saying amongst themselves? Because don't forget that if he's coming into the Algerian national team, he's he's not coming to fill an empty void. He's replacing a player who contributed in the qualifiers, who went to play in Uganda, who went to play in Guinea, who went to play against Somalia. So who should play the qualifiers for you to now come and play when it gets to the World Cup? And I mean, for moves which happen like this, it destabilizes the team, because talent alone is not enough. I think I've watched enough games on the continent where you would see one team is so good talent, they are so good based on talent, but then the zeal to fight for they don't have that fight in them. Typical example, you can watch maybe in the World Cup qualifiers, Nigeria when they played against Zimbabwe. You could see Nigeria was very talented, but then in terms of the fight on the pitch, Zimbabwe were more hungry and they went all throughout to get a draw against Nigeria. So I mean, talent alone is not enough. You need your players to fight on the pitch for every ball to give their best in the game. And if maybe I am a striker, my friend is the right winger, and you drop the right winger who is my friend for a player who for 4 years said he doesn't want to play for us. Even if I get the opportunity, maybe I'm through on goal, the right winger is also through on goal, I can just give him a pass for him to tap in to score. I'm not going to do that, because why should I give a pass to a player who was not part of the journey to score and take the glory? And these things affect the team chemistry. It affects the overall performance of the team. So the Algeria Federation and the coach have not made the decision yet. We do not know whether he will be considered for the World Cup or not. But let me know if you were the coach or maybe the Federation President of Algeria. Would you be taking him to the World Cup because of his talent? Or you tell him something else? Just let me know.